Hello beautiful gluebookers. My black and white gluebook is finally finished. This one was such a satisfying project. It is bold and full of strong images. It has been fun working on it, and now it's time to see how it all fits together. I'm Deborah, welcome back to the collage table. Today I'm sharing the full flip through of this finished gluebook. This opening spread has an old sketch of mine on the right from when I used to still do some illustration work. The hello on the left is just very fitting and done in such a cool font. If you watched the earlier videos of this book, you've seen these pages in progress, and you will know that the photo of the flooded park is a park in my city back in the 40s. I biked through there regularly, never seen it so wet though. The vintage ladies on the right are from a sewing magazine and simply busy enjoying life. A lot is happening on this spread. I kept the title on the right. This book originally was a book full of black and white photos by Helmut Newton. I kept all my favorites as backgrounds to build my spreads on. You will see when I continue. But first here I kept part of the introduction text but added this vintage black and white flip out booklet full of Indonesian recipes of all the foods I grew up with. I love the movement and the memories it brings. Look, there's more on the other side. But now I'm getting hungry. Alright, let's keep going. Some more black and white images here. The panda was just a tiny bit of red detail, but that's okay. There are no rules in gluebooking. Here on the right, the photo of the railroad women of the 1980s is by Helmut Newton. All the other images I've added. There's the children's book illustration in the bottom corner that just fits with the railroad workers, like the Yes She Can and the women's protest in the 70s. Going back further in the 60s, the iconic Gloria Steinem We Shall Overcome photo and Germaine Greer, Australian-born, big part of the feminism movement. More strong women on this next spread. Deborah Winger, Helmut Newton portrait on the right. The spread was a joy to make, finding all the images, thinking about the conversations the ladies would have with each other. The photo on the left here is simply called Young Woman, Berlin 1977, again by Helmut Newton, and on the right behind this postcard was a beautiful model called Verushka, but she was very revealing, unfortunately too much so for the average American YouTube audience and algorithm, so I covered her up with one of my old illustrations. Here are two photos of Charlotte Rampling, a famous model, actress in the 70s, and one of Helmut Newton's favorite muses. Make for a great background of the spread. Again, I had a lot of fun creating this one. Then again, I really enjoyed working on this entire book. So let's see what's next. On the left here was a portrait of Madame Poulette, a Parisian hat maker. I kept the flow of my illustrations going here. This girl of mine just went so well on this photo, in my opinion that is. Going through my old illustrations made me realize I do miss drawing, like a lot. Maybe I should carve some time out for it. And on the right is a group shot of Steve Strange and his friends. I just added a few images to tell a bigger story. Here's Mr. and Mrs. Michael Caine in Beverly Hills on the left. I had a hard time figuring out what to do here, and in the end I just added the cats to sort of mimic their pose, I guess. The right is a great storytime spread, starting with the photo of Baron and Baroness di Portanove and a handsome passerby in Hotel de Paris in Monte Carlo. The setup, the looks, perfect. I added the crying illustration, oh why did this have to happen, and the lady with the attitude on the right. Make of it what you want. Here I started with the black and white photos of Sophia Loren and Marilyn Monroe, both reading. They're not by Helmut Newton, but I thought they were perfect in this book. And the girl on the left is saying, yes auntie, as if she talks to Sophia Loren telling her she will be home on time. Great style has its rewards. Well, look at these women. And then there's this fun photo of my boy acting silly when he was still very young. I just think he could have had fun hanging out with Miss Monroe here. Alright, let's take a look at the next page. Claude Montana, a French fashion designer. I just had to add some fabulous fashion images here. I thought of adding a bunch more, but I left it at these. Sometimes less is more. And on the right we see Sigourney Weaver with some storytelling black and white images I added to the spread. Okay, let's keep going here. The next one is one of my favorite spreads in this book. No Helmut Newtons here. On the left you see André Hazes. He was a beloved famous Dutch singer, still is beloved with many here. The photo is by Govert de Roos, a music photographer who took photos of celebrities all over the world. I hope this photo is not too forward for the American YouTube algorithm and audience. On the right there's a model I don't know, and then there's Chrissy Shimpton in the 60s wearing a very op-art outfit by the designer Ossie Clark. I kept the info text here. I like to do that when I have info to go with the image. And there's Audrey Hepburn on the right. A lot of diamonds on the back and an airplane to jet set them all around the world. I love it. Okay, let's continue now. Okay, Helmut Newton photos left and right. Left is Audrey Wilder, her husband Bill Wilder, the film producer. He was sitting in a chair next to her, but I covered him with the vintage fashion illustration. And on the right there's Valentino, the famous Italian fashion designer. I added black and white fashion images because what else to do with a spread background like this? The girl in the hat is not completely black-white, but I thought she did look good right here. So she's there. I think I got the arrow from a sewing pattern, but not quite sure anymore. Maybe it was from a random ad somewhere. Okay, let's flip through, see what's next. I glued this image of the rockets on the left. Not that I'm into missiles or anything, not at all. But I like the shapes and the repetition of them visually, design-wise. And on the right of the spread is a group photo of part of the Hemingway family in a hotel room in Paris. This image didn't need a lot of extras. It's already telling stories. There's a cage of doves. Is there a wedding on the way maybe? Here's another interesting one. You can be gorgeous at 30, charming at 40, and irresistible for the rest of your life. Coco Chanel. Now I'm thinking I should have kept this quote for my birthday gluebook when I'm turning 50 next summer. There's the Balinese dancer in the middle. How pretty is she? And the classic lady in the front is wearing a paper hat. Oh, the art of it all. On the other side there's a collection of pretty black and white images, because sometimes it doesn't all need to tell a story to be a good spread, or half a spread, like here. And on the right is a photo of Helmut Newton's agent, Mr. Moreau, and his wife. If you watch the videos where I worked on this spread before, you know I couldn't immediately decide where to put the panda. It went in the middle. Here's another photo of Mrs. Moreau. Look at her. It's like she's telling us whatever you heard about her, it's all fake news, darling. Black and white photos, fashion photos on the right. These come from a vintage craft magazine showing off the knitting patterns. Makes me want to get my knitting needles from the back of my craft closet. Refresh those knitting skills. Let's eat, sleep and repeat. There's plenty to see here, and make up your own story to go with it. There's a pocket on the spread to keep leftover clippings or any other special treasures. I'm nearing the end of this glue book here, and it seems that time is also running out for the runaway bride on the right. If you enjoy this kind of video, there's a playlist where I keep all my finished glue books in that. You might like to check it out. This is the end of the finished flip through of my black and white Helmut Newton glue book, featuring one more of my illustrations. I hope this book gave you some ideas and inspiration for your own glue booking projects. For now, thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Till next time, bye.